right here, right now. WWE and wrestling legend Jake the Snake Roberts. How you doing, buddy?
Oh, I'm miserable. You know, it's like a sore when you can't beat it.
Oh man! Oh,
and I want to get this. I want to get this right up front. I'll be glad to do this interview, but you guys cannot touch my snake. I'm just that way.
Damn. That's not. Don't laugh. Because they were talking about touching your snake earlier, and I was like, dude.
See, I was afraid you were talking about that. I have no scales, but a couple of warts. So we'll leave it at that.
Oh my God. Awesome, fantastic. All right, listen, you know, we were talking earlier tonight about heels, about how CM Punk's turning heel and all that jazz right now.
Is he? Is he?
Yeah. Yes.
Really?
Is
anybody aware of it, though?
No, they are, because they're actually doing a pretty good job of it. They're getting Paul Heyman involved. They're making it clear. Even though people are still cheering him, they're making it clear. But we were talking about our favorite heels. And be honest, dude, you're one of our favorites because you were always so cynical about the way you did things. How did you get into your character, and how were you? You're just such a devious heel. How did you do that?
I eat post toasties in the morning. No. I don't know. To me, it just seems simple. You know, I mean, I wished I could say that I researched things and that I did this and I did that, but I didn't, man. For whatever reason, God gave me that gift to be that maniacal son of a bitch. The guys, you did not know what he was going to do next, and usually it's because I didn't know what I was going to do next. But anyway, as far as the interviews, it was pretty simple because I got a knee dropped in my throat when I was like 19, and it crushed my voice box. So I couldn't yell like everybody else did. And I also was smart enough to check things out. And I mean, I was doing research and stuff, man. I mean, I love quotes and I love music, and I would steal all my good stuff from music and quotes from other people. And which is something I should bring up front. There is nothing new in this life. It's all been done before. But know where to steal your stuff. You know, and I knew where to steal my stuff, and it made sense. I liked mind games, so I operated on a thought that if you had heard it before somewhere in your life, whether it be in music or watching the Beverly Hillbillies or whatever, if you'd heard that before, your parents had said it. If I said it in an interview, automatically your brain clicked without you knowing it, and you were nodding yes without me really even saying anything. In other words, like, oh, don't play with that kid at the end of the block. He's a bad boy. We've all heard that crap, you know. So therefore, you're agreeing with me before I ever come with my next point. My next point is moot because you've already agreed with the first part of it. And the other thing is, if I'm in a room and there's 200 people in that room, and somebody walks in screaming, you know what? I ain't hearing that shit. I mean, listen to that stuff. I'm turning it off. Okay? I'm turning that off. But if a guy walks in and goes, hey, man, I got to tell you something. It's really important. Shh, don't let anybody else hear this stuff. Everybody in that damn room wants to hear what I'm whispering to you.
That's true.
Okay?
It's 100% true. It's 100% true,
thank
man.
you. I didn't think I was wrong, you son of a bitch. But get a life, you prick. Gets a radio show and no, I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, never mind. But that was my thought. And the other thing was, take your time. John Wayne said that when he first started movies, he didn't get many lines. So the way he struck home and the way that he got himself over was by saying them real slow. That way you have more time in front of the camera. Okay? But for me, I was taught by a guy named Bob Sweetan. Do you ever hear of him?
Not I.
Bruiser Bob Sweetan. This fat piece of crap. God, I was scared to death of this son of a bitch. because he used to whoop my daddy's ass, you know. And Bob wasn't a giant of a man. He was 280, but he was 5'10". And he had greasy hair like a trucker, you know, nasty looking stuff. And when he walked the ring, he'd walk real slow. I stole that. And unlike the other heels that would yell at people and feint at them, make a move towards them or whatever, he would walk real slow and turn his head real slow. And back in those days, they were bombarding him with some horrible stuff, too. This was Louisiana. And they were hitting him with some stuff, but he never sold it. And he'd walk about halfway down the aisle, then he'd pick somebody, and he'd stop and turn and look back at him, and this guy would pick the loudest son of a gun in the audience. And he would stare a hole right through the guy to the point the guy would sit down and shut up. Now, I wondered how you do that. And you don't do that by looking at people. You do that by looking through people, okay? I can look at you and make you feel so inept like you're not even there, because it's like I've done passed my way right through you because you just don't matter. That's what you have to do. And it's lost.
Yeah, listen. You were one of the most devious heel, and then we always talk about how WWE's got to bring another. You have to have that elite heel, that guy who's going to take a guy like John Cena, the company's biggest face, and absolutely just take them to their limit. You know what I mean? You always brought out the best in the best workers. We always said, we were just talking about this earlier today. Hulk Hogan was the John Cena of your time. Why did you never be the heel to his face?
Well, I was in two places. We shot an angle back when I was doing the Snake Pit. You remember that?
Mm-hmm, definitely.
Okay. And we went out, and, he came on as my guest, and I'm like, yeah, man, I got the biggest pythons in the world. No, brother, I got the biggest pythons, screw off, whatever, dude. Come back next week, and we'll see. We'll get a tape measure out here, and we'll see who's got the biggest pythons. So, of course, I brought a bigger snake out and stuff, and then he wanted weights out there so he could pump it up, And he pumped it up, and when he did, I threw chalk in his face and DDT'd him on the set. Of course, this was after I'd already caved Steamboat's skull in. And I always wondered about that because I showed Vince then that I could not DDT somebody on the floor. But he still had me do it to Hogan on the floor. And it split Hogan's skull, which is really cool. But, I mean, even though they used a gimmick tape, the snake was like 21 and a half inches and his arm for 24. Give me a break, please. Anyway, but I DDT'd him, and I walked to the back, and then he was going to do his Hulkster thing where the people would start chanting, Hulk, 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 Hulk. And he'd come to his feet, and he's going to Hulk up and come looking for me, right? And so then it was going to be like off to the races making money for everybody. Except those asshole people, the fans, you pricks, you cost me millions of dollars here. Because what happened was I DDT'd him on that set, and I left just like I was supposed to. Went back past the curtain, and Vince is standing right there. And he goes, just stand right here. Listen to this. This is going to be unbelievable. Well, I listened. And it was quiet, real quiet. That's not good. And then you start to hear it. DDT, DDT. And Vince looked at me and goes, you're screwed.
Well, now, is that the downfall of wrestling? When the crowd gets behind you as a heel and cheers you as a face, is that...
Well, in that situation, because, I understand it years later, but it pissed me off, man. I'm like, do you really care if the building is full of Jake fans or Hulk fans? Yes, they do. Because they spent $1 gazillion promoting Hulk. All the toys, all the stuff was Hulk, 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 okay? And if the fan base is split and half of it's going, we want Jake, that means they're not selling their merchandise. worldwide. Because if the fan base is split worldwide, well, you're talking some huge numbers now. Places that we're not going to wrestle, but they don't want Hulk stuff because they dig Jake, means Hulk stuff is not selling, means their investment is down the tubes. So what happened was we wrestled in Providence, Rhode Island, turned people away. We still have that record. And, 30 years later, 25 years later, whatever it is. And we still have a record in Montreal at the Forum. But that didn't matter because those 20,000 fans that are in that arena that bought tickets mean nothing to the machine. Okay? The machine is what sells John Cena's T-shirts, what sells John Cena's cups, what sells John Cena's crack pipes, I don't know, whatever he has to sell. Okay? I did not mean that, folks. That was very ugly. I wish there was some way we could zip that because that was just wrong. But sometimes I get frustrated too, man, because here I was in the top of my game and not being allowed to play my game. Because what happened immediately after that was they got to turn me babyface. Okay?
That's exactly what they did with CM Punk, too.
Well, they turned me babyface because, and I will tell you what's different between me and CM Punk. They turned me babyface against a guy that was a babyface. That guy became a heel, and I became a babyface. That has never been done since then or before. Honky Tonk was a babyface at the time, and I was the bad guy. And then he hit me the guitar. I became the good guy, and he became the bad guy. Never has that been done before or since.
That's a good point. Mike Chiari, got a question?
Yeah, Jake, I think that obviously one of the main things that everybody associates with you is your finishing move, the DDT. So today, the DDT, it kind of seems like a staple in the movesets of most wrestlers that are currently competing. But few, if any of them use it as a finisher, though. So I was wondering if you, as the innovator of that move, consider it a compliment that so many people use it, or do you think that wrestlers using it just as a normal move devalues it at any point?
No. It devalues their work because the simple fact is this. They go out and use it for a high spot or whatever you want to call it and don't even get a 2 count. The fan at home says, you know what, man? Jake Roberts did that stuff to you. You didn't get your ass up. So therefore, Jake is better than you are. So every time they do it, I touch myself. Semi would, just semi.
Brandon Galvin?
Yeah, Jake, do you feel that you're not given enough credit for helping push WWE towards its boom period in the late 90s?